Hello everybody and welcome to Every Movie Ever. I'm your host Eric, and this is of course the show where we are reviewing every movie ever made, starting this week with The Village. This is the third or fourth movie from M. Night Shyamalan, a director who by this point in his career had sort of worn out his welcome with me. Now he's sort of won it back a little bit recently with Split, but The Village was one that, when it came out, I wasn't interested in seeing and never did. So this is the first time I saw it. Now, a big part of the reason why M. Night sort of wore out his welcome with me and other viewers is his arguably over-reliance on plot twists, on having a big, reveal near the end of the movie that's supposed to blow the audience's minds. Now, he executed that pretty well with The Sixth Sense, which was a, fine movie with a pretty shocking twist that made everybody go, wow, and made it feel like a great movie, even though, at least in my opinion, it doesn't hold up quite as well on subsequent viewings. He followed that up with Unbreakable, which has sort of a lukewarm plot twist, which I won't reveal, I guess, especially since there's an Unbreakable sequel coming out. But by the time The Village came around, we were hip to his tricks, and to be honest with you, when they started running the commercials for The Village, which is ostensibly a movie about, frontier or colonial era Americans living out in the wilderness, I could see the plot twist coming from a mile away. So I want to go ahead and I want to talk about this movie. So spoiler alert is active. Here's the deal, gang. So this whole movie, which is, is set out in the wilderness and everybody wears old-timey clothing and behaves all old-timey, it actually takes place in the modern day. That's the big twist! And like I say, I remember seeing the commercials for this and being like, this sucker takes place today. There's going to be a plane that flies overhead or something. That's what you're going to know. Now, it's not a plane that flies overhead. Here's the deal. So but the twist is somewhat obvious, and if I have to be honest, is revealed very poorly. The plot of the movie, such as it is that we do have this sort of Salem, Massachusetts-esque wilderness town of elders and youngins. Who they live out in the wilderness and they're not allowed to leave their village because spooky things live out in the woods. And the elders made a pact with the spooky things that so long as the villagers don't go into the woods, the spooky things won't come out of the woods and into the village. Our heroes are Joaquin Phoenix and Bryce Dallas Howard. Bryce is blind, and when Joaquin falls ill, she is the only villager brave enough to venture out into the woods despite her lack of sight to try and make it to the next town and find medicine. When she goes out into the woods, we find out that the story of the spooky people has all been made up by the village elders in an attempt to keep the youth inside of the village. The village elders, you see, had set up this commune sometime in the 70s to escape all the hustle and bustle and I guess murders of our world and, sort of form this pseudo-Amish community, but why not just become Amish? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And when she makes it out to the highway, we find out that they all live inside of some big nature preserve. Now, the reason why I say that this is revealed poorly is because Bryce Dallas Howard, like I say, is blind. So one, she doesn't see what's going on. Like they put her in a car and she realizes there's something weird about it, but she never is able to look around and go, hey, this is all kinds of crazy. Also, the movie reveals to us that that's what's going on via a conversation between cult leaders John Hurt. I confused John Hurt and William Hurt. I think I have the right Hurt today. And Sigourney Weaver that reveals, oh yeah, this is modern day. And they tell us that right before we see Bryce Dallas Howard meet a modern day park ranger. So even excusing that she can't see the park ranger and his fancy get-up and his technology, it's disappointing that we don't find out the twist through the actions of our protagonist. And as such, it sort of takes the air out of the somewhat already obvious reveal. So whatever suspense or impact it would have had is significantly lessened. So, So how about the movie itself? Even, ignoring the twist, it's okay. It's a watchable enough movie, which is more than I can say for a lot of M. Night's later output. This was one that was easy to watch start to finish, but it is not a particularly good movie. Even ignoring the twist, the plot and characters as they exist are not terribly interesting. So, as such, I gotta tell you, The Village, 2 stars. And don't forget to visit our website, northmetrotv.com/everymovieever. There, you can watch reviews of every movie we've ever covered here on the show, as well as complete episodes. That's northmetrotv.com/everymovieever.